Okay, so great. So today, it's just a vinyasa flow, but with a little bit of a twist. We're gonna work on some exercises that I haven't as a teacher led you through since teaching on Zoom. So it will be new in that way for everybody. And yeah, and also I'll say this again, but a lot of the theme of this class is focusing on really focused concentration, focused breathing, and then releasing, letting go, and kind of a sense of like being okay even when we experience that release. The quotations and the meditation at the end of class were inspired by Marisa Moore and Rise Therapy and Wellness. They lead a free meditation on Fridays and also meditations throughout the week and yoga as well. So if you are interested in today's class, feel free to check them out. That's Rise Wellness and Therapy. So yeah, so let's get started. Excellent. All right. Oh, Nikki, would you do me the favor and close the window for me? I'm interrupting Nikki's practice to close the window. All right, everybody. So if you would like to find your way, in a comfortable seat, as we typically start, lifting up from the sternum so that your spine can naturally fall into a tall upright position. Maybe your chin dips slightly closer to your chest, feeling a little more compact and yet energized. And if we want to take our right hand and make a gentle fist, and gently drape the fingers of our left hand over and hold this at our hearts. We're going to gently close our eyes or lower our gaze just to turn ourselves inward a little more. Begin to bring your awareness to your breath and the quality of your breath. What do you notice about your breathing? Is it coming in like sort of shallower spurts, or maybe you're able to drop right into a deep kind of ocean breath right away? And notice the way that you can gently guide your breath. If you'd like to take deeper, fuller breaths, perhaps you can gently guide your breath in that way. If you'd like to take longer breaths, notice how you're able to tell your breath how to lengthen on the inhales and exhales. Acknowledging the relationship between you and your breath, and that even though we can't always feel in control of our breath, or sometimes our breath is telling us something, if we need to be more alert or more aware, that we do have the capacity to return to a state of calm belly breathing, a state of restoration. Let's take a few deep breaths, just noticing what you're able to do with your breath on your own, a little bit of breathing kind of playtime, and then we'll start our physical flow. Wonderful. And if you'd like to dip your forehead just so it touches the top of your left hand, it's just a symbol of honor to yourself and to others in this practice. You may honor each other now or dedicate yourself to this practice for them and for yourself. Inhale, lowering your arms, maybe flickering your eyes open. We're going to move into our dynamic warm-up here. Our hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips. We're going to inhale, belly drop, shoulders come together, gaze lifts, cow position. And on the exhale, pressing away, feeling the tops of the feet engage with the floor, palms engage with the floor, rounding through the spine. Inhale, belly drops, moving through your cow pose, moving. Cow pose. And on the exhale, moving into your cat. Taking any other motions you need, maybe little figure eights, or maybe little circles. You're just gently waking up your spine, your hips, and your shoulders. Excellent. And coming back to a neutral spine, we're going to wake up our shoulder blades a little bit more. On an inhale, lifting your right head to the sky, torso turns to that elbow. And exhale, we're going to thread the needle, bring that right hand underneath the left elbow, letting your ear rest on the mat. Your left hand can lift, or you can bring the fingertips out in front, or they can just remain as you have them. Inhale, pressing the palm of that left hand to the ground, lifting, unthreading the right arm. Exhale, placing the right hand under the right shoulder. Right away, inhaling the left hand to the sky. Exhale, threading underneath that right elbow, gently resting your ears, the left ear side of your face on the floor. You can walk the right fingers out. You can lift the right hand in the air. Find a place that you feel connection with the earth along that left arm. On your next inhale, plant the right palm, unthread, lift up to the sky, and exhale, plant that palm underneath your left shoulder. Inhale, we're going to tuck the toes and just send our hips back. Dropping the forehead to the ground, letting your arms create a space where your head can just fall. Maybe we can draw our shoulder blades a little more together as we stretch the back neck. Excellent. Inhale, reaching the hands back to the heels. The crown of the head drops to the floor. And on the exhale, lifting the hips a little bit away from the heels into our rabbit pose. If there's too much pressure in the crown of your head, send the hips back in space a little more towards your heels. Feel the connection of hands to soles of feet to hand. Create a little resistance in those spaces. One final inhale, and exhale, send the hips back down towards the heels. Hands come out in front, untucking your neck, and coming back into our tabletop position. You can uncurl the toes if you want to give them a little bit of a rest. Play around there. Excellent. Next, inhale. We're going to tuck the toes and lifting from our hips, send our booties in the air for our first downward dog of our practice. Take a deep breath when you get up here, and maybe you want to walk out your legs a little bit, walking the dog. Maybe you want to really press those palms into the floor, feel that connection in your hands. Excellent. And coming back to a more steady position. Inhale here. Exhale to hold and feel into this position. One more. Inhale deeply. And exhale, release, sending those hips higher in the air, even if just in our mind's eye. Inhale to gaze forward and take slow steps towards your hands. Feet about hips width distance apart, and just relax your head. You can grab opposite elbows if you'd like to give yourself a little swing, a nice bend in your knees, which is not only a nice way to start working into stretching these muscles by starting with a bend, but it also has us rely on the muscles more. So even by bending our knees, we're actually engaging our muscles, toning our muscles, and leaning on them to support us, rather than just the bones, which are pretty solid already. And then exhale, releasing your fingertips, bending your knees deeply, and just rolling up one vertebrae at a time. And when you get here, continuing the unfurling with a rolling back of the shoulders, gazing forward, hands just gently draped at your sides. Excellent. Inhale, reaching your arms down, out, and up. Palms come together, and this time we're going to kind of swan dive forward, which is usually how we end. Like wings coming out and down. Inhale, halfway lift, hands come either below or above your knees. And exhale, fall down. One more time, bend your knees and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Working through that spine. When you get to the top, continue with your shoulder blades. Stand strong and tall, feeling rooted through your feet. Take a deep breath here. Final reach up and up. Palms come together. This time, slice the air in front of you, leading with your heart. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, planting the palms, stepping back, right leg and left leg into high lunge. Inhale to engage the muscles up the back of your legs, all the way up through your glutes. Gaze is just ahead of your fingertips. Exhale, drop the knees, keeping everything in your belly engaged, leading with your heart to flatten to the floor. Untuck the toes, hands come back a little bit. First cobra, baby cobra. Exhale, come down to the floor. Inhale, moving through our tabletop. Open those knees and let's just send our hips back into a child's pose and just feeling how we feel, having created a little heat in our bodies, started opening up through stretching, and how our breathing is. Are we out of breath? Do we feel that we can bring it back in? Excellent. Inhale, squaring those knees so they're under the hips. Stepping the hands forward just a little bit, a little palm print forward, tucking the toes up into downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, release, pressing into the floor with all 10 knuckles, even the ones that don't want to go down. Inhale, gazing forward, taking a couple big steps so your feet meet your hands. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen from the crown of your head down your back through the tailbone. Exhale, release. Inhale, reaching your hands out and up. Palms meet. And then sending your palms to your heart. Eyes closed. Hands pressing gently into each other, creating some energy between your hands and in front of your heart. Wonderful. Here we can bring our hands to our hips. And we're going to step our right foot back. So if you look down at your feet, there should be about 3 feet in between them. You can kind of eyeball that. Your front foot, your left foot, is pointing directly forward, and your back foot, if you are looking at a clock, is about 2 or 3 o'clock. So it's not completely turned out. It's like on a diagonal to the front. Inhale to square the hips. Get tall, and on the exhale, we're going to forward fold. And as we do, our right hand is going to reach our left ankle, and our right hand to left ankle, and our left hand reaches up to the sky in a revolved triangle. You can always bring a bend to your knee, use a pillow or a block for extra length and support. Inhale to come back to both hands on the ground and tuck your nose in for a pyramid stretch. And then we're going to bend the front knee and just roll up like you were just dipping in some water, and someone just kind of picked you up like a towel right out of the water. Excellent. Now we're going to turn both toes to the front and then move to the other side. So just checking your alignment. Your right toes are now facing directly in front. Your back toes are at like a 10 o'clock, about 3 feet apart. Squaring those hips, tall spine on an inhale. Exhale, as we begin to bow forward, our left arm is going to reach towards our right ankle. Yes, making sure I have my right and left. And our right hand is going to reach up to the sky, revolve triangle. You can keep your hand on your hip if it's a little too much tension in your hamstrings. Exhale to bring your right arm down, just bending towards that knee. Inhale, bending the front knee and rolling up like a piece of material just being pulled out of a bowl of water. Shoulders come back. And then carefully bringing both toes to the front, stepping them together, or you can hop them together. Feet come to touching. Inhale, reaching those arms out and up. And exhale, sending your hips back in space, palms open, Utkatasana chair pose. Just taking a peek down, making sure your heels, your knees haven't gone over your toes. You want to sit back like you're sitting on a chair that's a little too high. It's back there somewhere. Your hands can come straight in front. They can come past your ears. Take a deep breath, sink a little lower with those hips. And exhale, standing up tall, and forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to plant the palms, bend those knees, step one foot back, and then the other, high plank or low plank with knees dropped. Inhale, engage the legs. Gaze just a little bit ahead of your fingers. And exhale, lower down, elbows tucking in, as flat as you're able. Pulling back the hands a little bit. Inhale, maybe baby cobra. Maybe you can energize a little higher up in your cobra. Exhale, forward. Fall forward with your, it wasn't fall forward with your head. Gently bring your head to your mat. And moving through tabletop, let's take another child's pose. If you're beeping, it's my bread maker. So although beeping sounds alarming, just know there's warm bread on the way. You can have a socially distanced bread distribution in my apartment if you want. While you're in this child's pose, take a moment. Just notice how you're feeling. Are you able to shed some of the tiredness from the morning? Maybe asana, the movement practice, is generating a sense of fatigue. Maybe you feel a sense of awakening or embodiment. Try to find an adjective or two to put on your experience. Inhale, coming to tabletop, squaring your knees. We're going to step our hands forward, a little bit more forward than usual. We're going to go into our downward dog, but we want to have a wide downward dog for this. Nice stable base. So we're going to curl our toes, lift our hips. So again, we don't want a super narrow one. We want it nice and wide. We're going to inhale our right foot up, squaring the hips. Now this is a little new for my virtual classes, so you might even just want to watch the first time. We're going to bend that right knee and cross it in front of the left foot. And you're resting on the pinky edge side. Perhaps this is as far as you'd like to go today. Kind of resting that left foot on the edge. Maybe you want to put your the weight of your body in that right hand and lift the left hand to the sky. That is up to you. I'll walk you through it again. Inhale, lifting the right leg, bending it so it can cross in front of the left foot, resting the pinky edge side on the floor. Put the bulk of your stabilities in that left foot. But to stay here and just work on getting those hips up, it's a different feeling. Otherwise, using your right hand to support, left hand lights up the sky. And exhale, bringing that palm back, bending that right knee and sending it back in the air. Exhale, stepping it through between both hands. That might take a couple steps. Wonderful. Dropping the back leg, using your side to get tall take a breath up here. Let the blood kind of recirculate to your center. When you are ready, hands will come to prayer. Back toes can be tucked or untucked. Inhale, open heart. Exhale, twisting so your left elbow hooks onto your right knee. You can open your arms, or you can just enjoy the twist as it is. But if your arms, before you open your arms, really think of pressing that top hand into your bottom hand so that your palms aren't at one shoulder or the other, but directly in front of your heart space. Inhale to come to center. And exhale, we're going to switch to the other side. So your right elbow is hooking onto your right knee. You can even open your hands here if you like. And really feel the contact between your arm and knee here. The right knee, the left arm. They are resisting against each other, activating that hip on the right side. Option to drop that back hand. Some people go into a bind here, but don't worry, we can do a half bind. Inhale to lift that arm if it was bent. Exhale, hands come to prayer, and flow back to center. Inhale, dropping the hands. Exhale, lifting the back knee, sending the right leg to meet the left. Inhale, activate through the back legs. Gaze is a little bit forward, elbows tucked. Chaturanga. Untuck the toes. Maybe you want to move into an upward dog. So you're using the tops of your feet to lift your knees off the ground, not letting the shoulders become your earrings. You may want to do a little rotation just to settle here. This is your first downward upward dog in a while. The thing from upward dog is you go from plank into downward dog. Whew, and untuck those toes. So, I'm tired. Good, take a deep breath here. Release. Inhale, gaze forward. Hop or step those legs to your feet. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, flow. Inhale, reaching those arms out and up. Exhale, palms come together, send them past heart center. Take a moment here. Gaze can be lowered, eyes can be closed. Check in on your inner experience. In fact, our hands right now are resting in front of the heart chakra. Now, certainly, if you don't believe in chakras, that's absolutely okay. The idea is that there are energies that flow in us. And certainly, we generate energy as we flow, as we breathe. And just symbolically, having our hands in front of this heart chakra, the chakra itself is said to express that which cannot be expressed through words. It expresses that which language cannot. So if you find when, I say, well, go check in on your inner experience, what words describe it, that is only part of, it's only the tip of the iceberg. There's so much that we feel and think. Our connection with others, it's almost beyond language. It's almost beyond what we can describe, but we trust that it's there, we trust in our experience, and we trust in each other. So now take one more cycle of breath, and just feel into that experience, rather than think into it. Inhale, reaching your arms out and up, waking up your eyes, gazing up, palms come together. Maybe we do a little back bend, sending those shoulders back, and then generating that energy back forward into a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, planting the palms, stepping your right leg back and your left leg back. High or low. Inhale to energize. Exhale, lowering down. Untucking those toes. Inhale, baby cobra. Slightly higher cobra. Maybe upward dog. Whatever you're feeling, they're all absolutely valid and great. Exhale to send those hips back into space. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, we're going to reverse that twisting we were doing. So inhale to lift that left leg, squaring the hips. Exhale, we're going to bend the knee and just cross it in front of our right foot, letting the pinky toe edge rest on the ground. Perhaps we stabilize like this. Maybe on our next exhale, we want to ground through the left palm and open our right arm to the sky. And still standing up in the air. Still feel that energy, except now our weight has been redistributed to primarily 2 of our limbs rather than 4. 2 and a pinky. Exhale to lower that right hand. Inhale, sending that left foot down and back. And exhale, we're going to get that knee high. We're going to step it through. Both hands. Might take a couple little, crawling it forward, hopping it forward. Inhale to lower that right knee. You can tuck or untuck the toes. You can always put a towel or a blanket on your back knee. You never want to feel knee pain, so whatever can alleviate, create more ease. Inhale to raise the torso, squaring those hips. Okay, we're not like opening to the side, we're actually squaring them to the front of the room. Take a moment to settle into this squared position, heart open. And next, inhale, bring those hands in front of your heart for prayer. Exhale, twisting first from that lower belly, sending that right elbow to your left knee. Maybe you want to open your arms for a little added emphasis. Regardless, you got to make sure that you are pressing the top palm equally into the right so that your hands are in front of your heart. That's why it's nice to keep them in prayer, because you can really see where you are maybe pushing too much, or maybe a little bit out of balance. Inhale to come back to a neutral spine, gazing forward. Exhale, we're going to reverse it a little bit. We're going to bring our left elbow to our left knee. You can stay like this, or you're going to open your arms. Nice little side angle here. Option to drop your right arm behind your back. Here's an option for a bind. If it's in your practice, you drop your right arm back and maybe bring your left arm under your leg. And just, if you want. If you want and if it's comfortable. There's certainly no need to go there if you don't want to. Inhale, disconnect your elbow, and come to prayer, and flow back to your center. Inhale to get tall. Exhale, gently letting those hands flow to frame the bottom leg. Inhale, lifting the back knee, sending your left foot back. Take an exhale just to settle. Inhale, engage through that back body. Feel the core pulling towards your spine. Gaze goes a little forward. And exhale slowly as you can, sending that heart to the earth. Well done, untuck those feet. Moving up just to get a nice little stretch in that front body, that skin stretches. Exhale, sending your forehead gently to the earth. Let's release our hands and just place your favorite cheek on the ground. Maybe your eyes closed. Notice the quality of your breath. You don't have to put words to it. Just notice it. Maybe we put the opposite ear towards the ground just to get some symmetry. It's funny, I say, let's get symmetry in this pose, but often I lead classes and I completely forget to do the left side. So people have like a really jacked, like right leg with their left leg is like, leave it all too long. Take a couple breaths, then get back into your bodies. So that you can flicker open your eyes if they were closed, and come on back to hands and knees. We're going to move through a warrior 2 sequence. So inhale, tuck those toes, sending those hips up. Exhale, we're going to walk the hands towards the feet. Let that neck just hang. Inhale and exhale as we roll of the spine, and gently roll those shoulders back. So we're going to get into our warrior two this time, not from a downward facing dog, but simply from our Tadasana, our standing mountain pose. I'm going to lead with my left foot. Inhale, bring your hands to your hips. Exhale, send your right foot out. So it's almost like you're like doing a little dancing foot. You're just going to turn those toes out on your right foot. Inhale to step the left leg forward. Nice big step. And just take a moment to adjust. Your legs, if you bring your arms out, your ankle should be more or less as wide as your wrists, but wherever is comfortable for you. So your front toes are facing the front, your back toes are facing the side. And then the moment of truth, bringing a nice lunge into that front knee. Now, depending on how wide or narrow your legs are, will depend on how much you can bend your knee so that it doesn't go over your ankle. If I had this super wide lunge, I'd have to bend quite a bit so that my knee was in line with my ankle. But if that lunge wasn't really what my body wants to do today, I'd make it a little more narrow and bring less of a bend. So play around, find what feels good. Make sure as you step your leg in and out that you feel stable doing so. I don't want anyone stepping out and then, they end up in a funny split on the floor. So finding a lunge that feels good, maybe walking your toes out. This time, your hips can be a little bit more open rather than to the front. Let your hips open to the side. Inhale in whatever sort of mighty way you want, opening those hands, warrior two, as your gaze moves over your left middle finger. Inhale, keeping your arms straight. You have the option to place your forehand on your thigh or keep it straight. Sending your heart forward, gaze lifts towards the ceiling. Side angle here. Inhale, moving through, flowing through warrior two. Reverse that warrior. Your hand can support your lower back or just rest weightlessly on the back. Inhale, in this warrior two. Now let's make this warrior two as warrior two-y as we can. So inhale, feel the legs of your muscles engage, like you're magnetized towards each other. Exhale, feel the shoulder blades dropping energetically down your spine. Inhale, intensify the gaze through those two, the index finger and the middle finger, and beyond. What are you looking at in your warrior? Maybe you can close your eyes, sending that energy, that intensity, and that focus inside as you are in this embodiment, this warrior embodiment. Inhale, lifting, straightening that front knee, opening your eyes. That left foot comes to the side of the room to meet the other. Just take a quick forward fold here, just to reset. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, slowly send your heart forward as much as feels comfortable. You can even do gentle side to side swings. Make sure that's nice and gentle. Restore yourselves here. It's one thing to be a warrior and to be strong, and it is another thing to be able to build up that strength, to be able to rest so the strength is accessible to you when you want to call on it. Letting that neck relax. We hold our necks up so intensely. I'm speaking for everybody. I do. So relax. Bending those knees, carefully rolling back up to a tall spine. Getting a micro bend in those knees. Shake out whatever you need. And then we're going to reverse the warrior direction. So sending our right toes to the front of the opposite side of the room. Checking on our left feet, making sure they're turned to the side. Now, if you were to bring your feet together, they should make the letter T. So your front leg should be bisecting the back foot. Inhale to lift that torso in the middle of your body. Find that midline. Exhale, bending that knee, ensuring that your knee is over that second toe or in the direction of the second toe, but not exceeding your ankle. That's put some pressure on our knee that we don't want. And then in some epic way, find your arms into warrior two. I like that because I feel like I'm like getting into it as I settle in the pose. Gaze turns over, looks past that middle finger on the right hand, lowering the shoulders, keeping that torso tall. Breathe in this warrior position. Inhale, we're going to go into that side angle again. your right arm can rest on your thigh, or you can send it right past. If you have a block or a pillow, excellent time to use it underneath those bottom fingers. Take a deep breath, maybe you gaze up. Exhale, carefully flowing back through that warrior two and reversing it. Your backhand can just rest weightlessly, or it can support your lower back, getting in there. Feel a stretch down the side body. Remember, that's not a back bend, it's a side stretch. Inhale, come on back to warrior two. Feel the muscles activating towards each other. Really, really energized. Shoulder blades down and back. Arms strong, they might even lift a little bit with the energy. Gaze to the right, maybe eyes closed, sending this energy inward. Noticing what's there. One final inhale. Exhale, eyes come open, straightening that front leg. Hands come to your hips, turning both toes to the side. Just take an inhale, right arm up, and a gentle side stretch to the right. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, left arm comes up. So just stretch using the strength in your core and your obliques rather than the energy in your hand and leg to keep you up. Letting this also be a rest. Excellent. You can let sort of like fossy your feet in or hop however you would like it. All right, my friends. Now we're going to go into, I'm going to lead you into just the very beginnings of crow pose. I certainly don't want to teach a full crow pose in our practice virtually, so I can never know if you were struggling or if you had some fear about being inverted. So we're just going to go into some strengthening exercises. And if crow is in your practice, feel free to continue into the posture. So give yourself a little shake. Let everything wake again. Hips width distance apart. Bend your knees, sending your arms up, palms meet. Exhale, slicing in forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthening through our spines. Our last halfway lift. Can we get longer in that back body? Exhale, sending it down. Inhale, bend your knees. Plant your hands. Step one foot back, then the other. Inhale into your plank. Gaze is a little forward. Energize the muscles up the back of your body. Option for knees to drop. Exhale, shift forward. Sending the heart down. And rest. Well done. Excellent. And just carefully peeling yourself off the ground. If you'd like to go through tabletop or sit on your knees, put yourself in a comfortable position. And if you have a pillow handy, I would recommend for our little prep, just have a pillow here. Even though we're not going to go on our hands completely, it's nice to know that the supports are there so that as we move through this pose, as you get more comfortable in it, whether in your classes or on your own, you know that you don't have to have your head hit the floor if you mess up. There always is a support there, and you always know that even when we're practicing, it's there. So you always feel that there's a little extra something for you. So you're gonna place it just at the front of your mat. For this exercise, we're going to place our hand just in front of our pillow. And they are still shoulders width distance apart, kind of like a half tabletop. You're going to walk your legs out. Actually, let's start in tabletop. So we'll start a nice tabletop pillow just in front of your fingertips. Good. And you're going to lift your knees slightly off the ground. We're going to get a little core activation here. Hold it for 3, just at 2 inches off the ground, 2, 1, and lower. Good. Then you can move through a couple little cat and cows. We're gonna do that one more time, just to get the core activated. Core is so important. Even if our cores are not like mighty powerful, they're always doing a lot of work. And simply being aware of how one can use their core, it opens up a whole range of possibilities for our bodies. And really helps us see beyond what we think are limitations. So inhale, lift your knees. Like the less you lift, the more the core kind of feels it. So hold it for 3, keep breathing. 2, 1, and lower. You can stretch it out. Excellent. So now, paying careful attention to our palms, make sure that your fingers are nice and wide, you can really grip. You're gonna bring your right knee just above above your right elbow. You're gonna support yourself on the ball of that right foot, and just kind of bring that right knee in contact with this upper arm area. So just see what that feels like. And then bring the slightest of bends. I'm gonna face you for a moment. These candles are fake, my house is on fire. You're gonna bring the slightest of bends to your elbows. So that right foot, around the ball of your foot, comes to just above your elbow, and bend your knees, almost like you're trying to bend your elbows, like you're just trying to create a little platform for that knee to rest just above your elbow. And then begin to do these like little mini push-ups as you send your weight into your hands, knowing the pillow is right in front of your face, and you start to feel the contact, leg into arm, arm into leg. Just feel back and forth, weight into your hands, energize that arm into leg, leg into arm resistance, and send it back. Whew. And again, bending your elbows, feeling the contact, leg, arm, leg, and send it back. And here's where you can play. You can really see if you can put more weight into your hands and less weight. Before we get carried away, let's try it on the other side. So our right leg can come down, and then we just send our left leg towards our left elbow. You can go on the ball of your foot if that's supported, and you're making contact with your left knee to just above your left elbow. So when you bend your elbows, it's almost creating like a little half table for your leg to make contact with. So then just play around with rocking slightly forward and back. And that rocking transfers your weight to your hand. And you might start feeling the contact, leg into arm, arm into leg. Really pushing back on that leg with your arm, while your arm pushes onto, while your leg pushes onto the arms. It's like a reciprocal pushing. Good. Just go back and forth, taking your time, easing forward and easing back. Good. You might start feeling the upper arms get a little more energized. They might be getting a little lethargic with that pressing back effort. Good. Now take a moment to play around. If you want to do one more side each leg, feel free. One more time each leg, I mean. Good. And eventually, you might be able to bring one leg and the other in this sort of frog pose. You can even try now if you like. So your hands are still about shoulders width distance. Your knees are making contact just above your elbows. And as you lean forward, you bend those elbows into the legs. And you can begin to rock back and forth. And eventually maybe lift one foot off the ground, and then the other as we sustain the forward rock. But for now, let's just acknowledge the work we just did. You just did like 90% of the crow, so well done. Excellent. Now that the pillow's here, we might as well use it. So let's just take a rest, relax those arms. Maybe bringing the opposite side. Opposite cheek underneath the pillow. Wonderful. And then just removing the pillow out of your way. Let's move up through tabletop. We're going to send our right leg back, gripping through the balls of our feet, and using the bottom leg to support us however we need as we open into a supported side plank, right side. Deep breath here. Maybe the arm reaches over the ear. Inhale, the arm comes back up. And exhale, carefully placing the hand down, unwinding so that we're square. Knees come back to tabletop. Inhale, other side. Inhale, left toes, press back, gripping through those ball of our feet. Using the bottom leg in whatever way feels supportive, we're going to turn to open to the left side of the wall. Arm lifts up, or maybe over our ear, supported side plank on the right arm. Inhale, send that arm back up, and carefully rotating back to a squared position. Knee comes down, stepping those hands a little bit forward, and lowering down to our bellies in any way. Doesn't have to be a chaturanga. I'm a little far forward.
We're gonna reach our hands back. If you can clasp your hands, go for it. Otherwise, just keep them strong at your sides. Forehead is gonna come to the mat. We're going to inhale. And then exhale, lifting your shoulders off the ground, tops of the feet, staying connected with the earth. Wrists pulling towards the ankle, which in turn opens our heart. Exhale, release your half lotus, the locust pose, and rest. We're gonna do that one more time. And on the second time, we're actually gonna lift our feet also. So the only thing still making contact with the earth is our hips and our lower belly. Inhale to bring your forehead to the earth. Exhale, clasping your hands or just energizing them out, lifting your shoulders and your heart and your feet and your knees off the earth. Inhale to get long. Exhale to hold. Inhale, can we open even more? Just even in the space in our minds, can we create more space? And exhale, send it down. Very nice. And we're just gonna lift our right leg, bring it around, just to turn us onto our backs. So now we're lying on our backs. Bend our knees, soles of the feet on the floor. At any point, if you'd like to drop your gaze or close your eyes as we begin our wind down, you're going to bring that left foot to cross over the right and hug it in just a little. And as you release the hug, sending your arms out, they can be goalposts or straight, and then sending the knees to the left side. You can put a pillow under your knees if that's more supportive. Perhaps your gaze looks over the right hand, or your closed eyes are in that direction. Settle into the twist. Settling into your bodies, into the earth. Knowing that the earth supports us no matter what. And our breath supports us no matter what. Inhale, gently bringing those legs back to center on crossing. And carefully crossing that left leg over the right. Maybe you want to give them a little hug inside just to lift those hips a little off the floor. And gently opening those arms. And gently sending those legs to the right side. Make it a little bit of a, maybe a little crack, a healthy crack in your spine as you twist. Maybe your gaze comes to the left. Feeling into the earth which supports you and sensing into the breath that supports you. Letting yourself have this restoration, for without it, we could not be in those warrior positions. We'd be limited. We need to call upon our strength, our inner strength. There's a balance where with all the effort and energy we put out, we must also take in for inner healing. Carefully sending those knees back up to the ceiling and uncrossing. Just gonna send your legs out long in front of you. Reach those arms up overhead in a nice stretch. Become your longest you. And when you're ready, let those feet drop open. Bring those arms down. Maybe the backs of your hands rest on the earth. Maybe the palms of your hand rest. If you need a pillow, take a pillow. Just find yourself in a place of ease. I'm going to just do a short reading and meditation while we are in this position. So take a deep breath while you are reclined and feel the earth underneath and all around you.
This meditation, as I mentioned earlier, is one that is inspired by one that I received from a dear friend who is one of the founders of Rise Wellness and Therapy. Her name is Marisa Moore, and she leads a free meditation for 30 minutes on Fridays. So this is inspired by the meditation she led this week. Deep breath, feeling into your body. Deep breath. Start regarding your emotions as the sensations in the body. The emotions as the sensations of your body. What emotions lie behind the narratives? What lies behind the stories? You are welcome to repeat after me in a silent response to yourself the following. I am present to my own heart and the heart of others. I am present to my own heart and the hearts of others. I am present to how my actions affect other beings. I am present to how my actions affect other beings. I am present to how my words affect other beings. I am present to how my words affect other beings. May our collective suffering be eased. May our collective suffering be eased. Deep breath and exist. Again, if you'd like to repeat these to yourself, or simply let the words pass over and through you. I am present to my own heart and the hearts of others. I am present to how my actions affect other beings. I am present to how my words affect other beings. May our collective suffering be eased. May we stay connected to our goodness. Take a deep breath and let it release. Continue to let these words and your breath resonate within you and around you, connecting you to each other in one whole, as one whole, together and united. In the words of activist and author Clea Wade, devote yourself to love. Love yourself so much that you can love others without barrier and without judgment. Devote yourself to love. Such devotion. When you are ready, you are invited to stay in this space, in this position, in this sense of unity for as long as you can. Otherwise, when you are ready, to bring some motion back into your bodies. You can begin to wiggle your fingers, maybe roll your ankles right and left, bringing the gentlest of movements back into your body. Starting with these outer extremities, these fingers, these toes, our wrists and our ankles, and moving the energy inward. You bend your elbows one knee at a time. Maybe your head can gently roll side to side. You bring your arms up overhead, stretching out through your body in a way that feels soothing. Roll over onto your favorite side. Eyes can still be closed. And gently pressing your body up to a comfortable seated position. You can take whatever posture you'd like here. If you'd like to end the way we started, you can make a fist of your other hand or left hand this time. A very gentle fist, and drape the right fingers over. Perhaps we lower the chin to our chest. I'm going to end with a quote by Oren Sofer. Listen deeply, honor what you hear, and then whatever you do, do it wholeheartedly. Stay connected to your goodness, and let the strength of your love animate what you do. Take a deep breath, maybe bringing our forehead to make connection with our fists. Exhale, bow forward. In conclusion of our class, I want to say thank you so much. I want to extend a special thank you to Rise Therapy and Wellness and Marisa for giving me a wonderful structure for today's class and the spirit of today's class, and for the wonderful authors of these quotes. Namaste to those who prefer to end class with namaste. To any donations from today's class will go to the Loveland Foundation. You can go to the Loveland Foundation website, or any Venmo Cash App to me will go directly to them. I want to thank you for being here with me on this Saturday afternoon. I wish you the best. I wish you wholeness, and stay connected to your goodness. You're all wonderful. Have a lovely weekend, my friends. Be well.